Live from the Charles Fry Academic Center, the pulse and pride of Lancaster Bible College, it's LBC Tonight, starring Derek Bigley. And joining Derek tonight, our special guests, Jake Ritchey, Eric Lizotte, musical guest, North Wind, and also featuring the dudes with the groovy tunes, The Tunes. And your dashingly charming announcer, Preston Gaines. And now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for your host, Derek Bigley!
Thank you. Welcome, guys. Welcome to LBC Tonight. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you to all of you watching at home. We've gotten such good feedback from our first episode, and I'm so thankful to everyone who has taken the time to reach out and to congratulate us and to encourage us. We all had a lot of fun last week, and I know we've got a great show for you tonight. Well, for those of you who are unaware, this month is the 500th anniversary of the Protestant Reformation. October 31st this year will be exactly 500 years from when Martin Luther nailed the 95 Theses to the door of Wittenberg Castle Church. In celebration of this historic event, the Lancaster Bible College Chorale hopped on a plane to Madrid, Spain today to sing with a Reformation concert series with a professional Spanish orchestra. And while I was unable to commit to this particular choir tour, we did lose a few LBC Tonight team members to this trip. Ty Godfrey, our bassist, Paul Myers, and Lissa Phillips, two cameramen. So we're going to be a little short this evening, but Adam Zembower will be filling in on the bass. And George and Lindsey are hopping on cameras, so we're going to be fully functional tonight, which is the good news. I can't wait to hear stories from Spain, and I'm excited to rejoin the choir as we perform the same concert series here in Lancaster when they get back. So be sure to watch out for those concert dates. Other than that, I don't have much else to say except for the fact that my girlfriend is in the house tonight, so that's pretty exciting. She flew all the way from California for her fall break to celebrate her family and me, and boy, was I surprised. She surprised all of us, and it felt like Christmas, so it was pretty fun. So anyways, thank you, Ruthanne. I'm so excited that you get to be here for a show. That's fun. I wasn't expecting that, and I definitely could not have asked for a better surprise this week. Okay, well, gotta get refocused now. Yeah, so I guess I'm supposed to sing something now. That's kind of what we're. Jake, did we choose an opening number for this week? Because I don't.
Oh, I've got something for you.
Oh, you've got something for me? Oh, sweet. Well, what do we got? Do we got some more Bublé, perhaps? Maybe a little Bruno Mars, some Ed Sheeran or John Mayer? No. Jacob, no. Dang it, Jacob! I specifically said no Disney on this show. That was one of the stipulations for this. I don't want to do this. Na te pena, baba kisi baba. Really? We're doing this right now? Oh, see, I like that. Na te pena, baba kisi baba. I'm just making up. I don't know this language. From the day we arrived on the planet and blinking stepped into the sun, there's more to see than could ever be seen, more to do than could ever be done. It's the circle of life, and it moves us all through despair and hope, through faith and love. Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. Did they send me daughters when I asked for sons? You're the saddest bunch I ever met, but you can bet before you're through, Mister, I'll make a man out of you. I totally threw off my groove. Under the sea,
under the sea. Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. Up on the shore they work all day. Up in the sun they slave away. While we devoting full time to floating under the sea. Whew. Jacob Huber, ladies and gentlemen. You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old pal said. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. Certain as the sun rising in the east, tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, Beauty and the Beast. Can you feel it, folks? Can you feel the love tonight? The peace the evening brings, the world for once in perfect harmony with all its living things. In a whole new world, that's where we'll be. A thrilling chase, a wondrous place for you and me. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. Turn away and slam the door. See the line where the sky meets the sea. It calls me, and no one knows how far it goes. If the wind in my sail on the sea stays behind me, one day I'll know. If I go, there's just no telling how far I'll go. I'll be there someday. I can go the distance. I will find my way. If I can be strong, I know every mile would be worth my while. When I go the distance, I'll be right where I belong. Like a shooting star, I will go the distance. I will search the world. I will face its harms. I don't care how far. I can go the distance till I find my hero's welcome waiting in your arms. The tunes, ladies and gentlemen. Special thanks to Adam Zembower for filling in for Ty this week. I'm your host, Kendra Bigley, and you're watching LBC Tonight. We've got a great show for you. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here tonight. We've got a great show for you this evening. Our guests this evening include LBC's first ever percussion performance graduate, Ritchey. LBC's first ever communication graduate, Lizotte. And a worship band from LBC, North Wind. And fun fact, our very own Mark Sheriff is also the drummer for North Wind, so that's pretty neat. So we'll be seeing him a little later on, and he'll be sitting in on their interview. Well, this week we reached out to all of you to get your ideas for our newest segment. Now, this segment is called Said No One Ever, and basically the premise is we're going to say things that no one would ever say. Ever.
Ever.
In a million years.
That's the goal, at least.
Yeah.
So we got some great submissions from fans via Facebook, and so we'll be including those tonight along with some of our very own. Yeah, so thank you to those of you who sent in your Said No One Evers, and well, now it's time for Said No One Ever.
After you, Big Show.
Okay.
Say no one ever, ever, ever.
Beautiful.
I love it.
After you.
These guys are great. They come up with this stuff like
On the spot.
On the spot.
It's insane.
It's pretty phenomenal.
Like, it takes like 5 minutes, and they just have a short intro song on
yeah,
the top.
I'm like, hey, I didn't plan ahead, so can you guys just come up with something for this? And they're like, oh yeah, I got this. So it's basically the story of my life. All right, here we go. Said No One Ever. Hey, Preston, can you give me a hand with this really heavy box since you're so strong?
Dude, come on. Like, well, right off the gate here, going after that one, like, immediately. Strength, really? Okay.
Yeah, we just go for it.
Cheap shot. All right. Did you hear that Twitter is thinking about doubling the length of tweets? Now we'll get to hear twice as much of what Trump is thinking. Yes!
That's a good one for sure. Oh, hey guys, look, there goes a really cool looking Prius. Said no one ever. It's true.
This student ministry homework is really kicking my butt.
Ooh. Oh, snap. But they do great work, and we love our youth group leaders.
Absolutely. No one ever.
Hey,
Ooh, that was outside of the segment.
script.
That was outside of the segment.
Preston, I'd love to hang out, but let me just quick finish this Spanger paper.
Quickly. Yeah. Wow, this meal could really use some tofu. Like just a whole side of tofu.
You know, along those lines, I'm not really sure why I'm a vegan. It just kind of happened.
Just
Suddenly. Like that.
You know what? I am so glad that Derek is seeing someone other than me.
I did not write that one.
It was submitted. So we know there's people out there thinking that for sure. So.
Sweating. Anyways. Preston, I can't wait for yearbook pictures.
Oh.
Those are the best.
Hey guys, I just peed in the pool. Me.
Yeah, no one says that, Preston. That's true.
Ever.
Oh boy, I can't wait for lunch in the ODC today. Oh. Cheap shot.
Yeah, that's
Preston?
Hey, Dad, that's a great selfie. That's a fantastic.
I think I've said that. My dad takes pretty good selfies, so we'll have to check on that one. But well, I guess that's all the time. Oh, we have time for one more. Okay, cool. Hey, look, Ruthanne sent one in, guys. Derek looks really good with long hair. Said no one ever. Thanks, Ruthanne. Appreciate that. Well, folks, that's the segment that we like to call Said No One Ever. So. Said no one. We're gonna have a great, fun time tonight. Make sure you guys hang around. Jake Ritchey coming up after the break. Welcome back to LBC Tonight. Our first guest graduated from LBC in 2015 with a degree in percussion performance. He then did his graduate studies at Westchester University, and he's a phenomenal ultimate frisbee player. That's on his bio. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my good friend, Jacob Ritchey. Welcome to the show.
Hello, it's good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
Yeah, so you and I have been friends for a very long time.
Yeah, I recall that you were, well, if we were standing, you were here the first time I met you, and now you're up
Yeah,
here.
if I recall, when we met, now you're here, and you were...
It may or may not.
It was just a stage. But now you look great, and you're...
Thanks, you as well. Put me to shame.
Thank you. We've both improved. But
Have you though?
have we though? No, but in all honesty, like you've been my best friend since 7th grade, so that's pretty neat. And I had the distinct honor of being in your wedding this summer. So he's married, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, he's taken.
Loving it.
So that was fun. That was really fun.
Yeah, and thank you. That was an honor to have you up there.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Well, it was my honor to be there. It was a good time. I dreamed about that moment for a long time.
Well, that's the only reason I had you up there, because I knew it was like,
you knew how much it meant to me.
you were sneaking in little clues like every other day.
True. It's probably true. Hey, so who's going to be your best man? So now back to the real stuff. Jake, you were a student here at LBC. Tell us a little bit about your time here at LBC and what it was like being in the percussion performance major.
Yeah, so I came to LBC knowing that I wanted to do a Bible degree, and I had some music experience. My parents who were in the audience, they forced me to go through 13 years of piano lessons against my will. Thank you. So I knew I wanted to do something music. I knew I wanted to have a Bible degree as well. And so Lancaster Bible College was the perfect choice for that. And I entered as a vocal performance major, just because that was, they just put me into a major. And I remember being horrible, just very, very, very bad at it, and not wanting to learn Italian, and my
But who does, really?
Right. That was literally my question. Who wants to do this for a living? Anywho, so your dad actually, a professor here, he heard me just goofing around on the drums, and came up to me and was like, actually we went on a long walk. He actually took me aside. We walked around campus, and he was like, Jake, I don't think singing's for you. Which I was figuring that out at that point. But he goes, I think you should pursue drumming. I think you should be a percussion major.
Right.
There was not a percussion major at LBC at that moment. So they created it for me, and Gabe Stasnik was the teacher they brought in, and it really took off from there. I was the first official percussion major here at LBC, and was able to kind of be the guinea pig of the program, which had its great things and had its very hard things. But yeah, I was very, very thankful to be in that, because I hadn't started from when I was 5. I started in college, and that was kind of daunting, and not knowing what a paradiddle was.
Can you explain for everyone what a paradiddle is?
Paradiddle is right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left.
Gotcha.
So Gabe, my first
common knowledge.
yeah. My first lesson, Gabe asked me, okay, so what do you know? Do you know a paradiddle? I was like, what now? How's this? So he was gracious enough to take me from there to encouraging me to go to study my master's at Westchester as well.
Right.
And it's kind of blossomed into him pushing me towards things I didn't think I could do, and kind of believing in me in that way. So yeah, LBC was the catalyst of all that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's all. Yeah. See, another good. Preston learns lots of good words on this show.
Never use them, just learn them.
Right.
Store them for later.
But Jake, tell us about your time at Westchester and how that grew you as a percussionist.
Yeah, that was the hardest 2 years of my life. I feel confident in saying that. I hadn't really done anything in my life that I felt like I really disliked and completed. I would dabble in things, and if it didn't come really easily, and if it wasn't my favorite thing to do, then I kind of let it fizzle out, or I would do it as mediocrely.
Sure.
As
That's
I
a
can.
word.
Sure.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
absolutely.
New word. Put that one in your pocket too. But so I would kind of let it fall by the wayside, and Westchester was the first thing where I really had to really had to own it and go after it.
Yeah.
And I still lived in Lancaster and was commuting to Philly every day. And hour drive there, would stay there for 11 to 12 hours practicing, and then drive back home for another hour. So it really forced me to, own it and go after it. And there was a lot of really good lessons to be learned there. And everyone else there was there for percussion, and so they were.
Right.
They were really, really good.
Yeah.
and that was also very good for me to see freshmen coming in and kicking my butt. And yeah, so it was a very good experience and one I needed. Definitely not one of my favorite, but I'm really, really glad that I have a master's in percussion.
Well, I mean, I saw you grow so much as a performer, as a percussionist during that time, and you really did work your butt off. I mean, I just remember Jake and I talking a lot of the time, like maybe almost monthly, weekly, about how much he hated doing his master's degree. But
it was probably like cry sessions.
we just hold each other and we'll be okay.
Derek, I can't do it.
But you did it. You have your master's, and now you're playing gigs. Your regular gig that you have is playing with Chubby Checker.
The twist.
That's pretty cool.
It is really cool. And again, if you would have told me 2 years ago that I would be doing something like this, I would have laughed at you. Frankly, this was another amazing gift from God and from Gabe, who he threw me to it. He threw me into it, and I didn't think. I didn't think I was able to do it, and he kind of forced me to do it by saying, "Nope, you're doing it." So like, wow, okay. So my teacher Gabe, he had the gig originally, and then he went to the military band, and so that gig was open. And he said, "Hey, you should do this. Go audition." So I did, and was able to get the gig, and I've been to a lot of different places in the U.S. and I'm heading out next weekend for Lancaster, California, in the Los Angeles area. Just really cool and something I didn't really think I was going to ever really see in my life.
Yeah.
But again,
touring all over the nation.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
It's awesome. I'm loving it.
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited for you, man. It's so fun for me to see where God's taking you. I mean, I've gotten to see each step of the way, and just seeing you push
you've been
through.
Privy to the
the goods and the bad. But you've graduated. You're married. You're performing on a regular basis, and so that's awesome. You've done me and LBC proud. So
Thanks.
Yeah. So thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely. Thank you
for sharing your story with us, and I'm super excited to see where God takes you next and what you get thrown into next.
Yeah, that's I'm learning the
you're
story
a trooper,
of it all.
Yeah. Well, guys, Jake Ritchey, he's pretty great, isn't he? Coming up after the break, Eric Lizotte will be joining me, and he'll be sharing his special talent with all of us, and you won't want to miss that, so trust me. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back to LBC Tonight. Our next guest is also an LBC alumni and had the unique pleasure of living in Brubaker before it was, well, a fountain. It's a fountain now. And he was the first ever communication graduate from LBC and is now working as a production technician at LCBC Church. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Eric Lizotte. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Derek.
Of course.
I'm excited for you, man. It's fantastic that you get to have something like this. I mean, when I was a student here, we were only just allowed to start going to the movies. So the fact that you get to create something like this here on campus is tremendous. So I'm super excited for you.
Thanks, man. It was also around the jeans era, right?
Yeah, you were just, when I started when I was a freshman, was the first year you were allowed to wear jeans to class.
Yes.
Denim material. is what separated you from learning and not learning. And so, I tell you what, so I was allowed to wear jeans to class. Still no shorts, though. That's still a rule, right?
That's still a rule.
No shorts,
yes.
disrespectful to wear.
That's right. It's not.
Don't be kind to the rules. Don't be kind to the rules.
Preston's pushing pretty hard for the shorts.
We're fighting for it.
Just keep rolling those pants up. Well, they're still pants. They're still pants. I'm just a little higher on the...
Higher up than they should be, for sure.
What do you got to do? What do you got to do?
Well, Eric, you've been pretty busy at LCBC lately. Tell us what's been going on there.
So LCBC is a church that exists to introduce people to Jesus and together to fully follow him. And so we do that through a variety of ways, but the approach we've taken is to try to recreate what you experience at the main campus in Mannheim in multiple locations. And so we've now opened our 11th location, and so that's what I was doing this week. Actually, I was in Hanover, Pennsylvania, working on putting together the lights, sound, and video for the main auditorium and the student ministry spaces and the kid ministry spaces. And so it's just fantastic to be a part of a church that's that alive and is growing like that. And we're just super excited seeing what God is doing. And so I tell you what, though, it really gets me fired up to see how what I get to do with production, lights, sound, and video, directly leads to people meeting Jesus. And there's really nothing cooler than that. So thankful for the education I had here and the experiences I had here and what I was able to take and go apply that to where I'm working now.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that. So about your time at LBC, you were technically a live production major, but it wasn't exactly a thing yet. Right.
So when I started at LBC, I started as a student ministry major, and then really all growing up, I did tech stuff, and I was always interested in that kind of thing. But there was nothing here that would allow me to study that. And so started in student ministry, went on to elementary education because I love kids and I love working with kids, and I learned a lot in that program. But it still wasn't production. Now, production didn't exist yet, so I couldn't have done it even if I wanted to. But my junior year, some of the professors approached me and said, hey, we're looking at starting this program. Would you want to be a part of it? And I said, absolutely. And so I made it work to do a 4-year degree in 2 years, starting my junior year, and got to be the first one in a lot of the classes that maybe you got to sit in as a communications student. So yeah, it was exciting to pioneer that. And I was hoping that when I graduated, they would forgive all my student loans as being the first one to graduate from that degree. That has not happened yet, which is disappointing to me. I feel like that's a reasonable expectation.
I would think so.
I don't know why it hasn't happened.
Well, we're thankful for you paving.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
And so, besides the tech work, you were obviously heavily involved in the tech work at LBC and in the productions, and you were the go-to guy for senior projects and different things. And people would say, "Hey, who do I want? Making me sound good? Oh, I want Eric."
That's kind. Yeah. Thank you.
But outside of that, you also did some other fun stuff. You were in at least one musical.
I was in all the musicals.
You were in all the musicals.
Yeah,
that's right.
That was the only time when I wasn't doing something with tech. Was when I was on stage. And even still, I think my senior year, I was in charge of batteries and wireless mics backstage as I was an actor as well. So it's kind of inescapable once people know that you do tech. People bring everything to you. You know what I mean? So it's just the way it works. So.
Well, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed watching you. And,
yeah, it was fun.
I worked backstage actually for the Princess and the Pea.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was a great production.
Yeah. That's fun. That's my senior year. Yeah, that was cool.
That was a good one. And so, Eric, I was told to ask you something about a fog machine in a dorm.
Boy. Oh boy. So
could you expound on that?
Yeah, I can, I suppose. All right. So.
Take notes.
Or don't. Yeah, or don't. So my senior year, a couple of the guys that I was close with asked me to be a part of their senior project, and so it was totally different than most of the senior projects we had done before. They were kind of classical in their approach, and we said, you know what, this is a guitar performance major and a bass performance major. Let's do a concert. So we did a giant.
Is this Jonathan Portman and Nate Shadle?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did. It was a giant rock concert, and no one was prepared for that. And so we thought, in order to take it up to the next level, we would rent a fog machine to have in the chapel. Right? Which was fine.
Yeah.
A fog machine is designed to fill a space that big with fog. Here's what it's not designed for. Filling your dorm room with fog. It's not designed for that. I mean, it will do it.
Right.
It will accomplish
very
that
well
if that's what you want.
Yes.
But you shouldn't want that. You shouldn't do that. So we finished up the show that night, and we were packing things up, and we had rented this fog machine from a local company that does that kind of stuff. And so we had it in our dorm, and we were going to bring it back the next day. It was me and my friend Aaron. We lived in Brubaker, which is now a fountain. You mentioned that, right? That's like the worst, man. That was the coolest place to live. It was gross.
If you were a guy,
it was terrible.
Yes.
It was what you want in a college
ideal
dorm.
men's dorm. Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, so we finished with the fog machine for the night. We brought it back. We were going to bring it back the next morning, and it was late. It was like 12:30 at night. And we were in lower brew, which the bottom floor, and there was upper brew, and they were all sleeping, and we were being rowdy, which is typical. And so we had the fog machine, and we thought, you know what? I wonder, what would you think would happen if we plugged the fog machine inside of our dorm room?
Right.
And so we did some research. And we thought, let's make sure this doesn't set off any fire alarms. Research.
Right.
Does a fog machine set off fire alarms? We didn't find anything, so we figured no, it would not.
Right.
Set off a fire alarm. About 5-6 seconds into the fog machine being on, we're all like, oh, cool, there's fog everywhere, We're shining our laser pointers and everything's looking cool. What do you think happened 6 seconds into the fog machine running at full blast inside of a closed space?
Fire alarm.
That's correct.
Yeah.
The fire alarm. Yeah, the fire alarm went off. And so our door was open, and it flooded the whole hallway. This is designed to fill a room the size of the chapel, big space with fog in like 10 minutes.
Right.
So it demolished our room. It demolished the hallway. And the fire alarm's going off, and our RA is like, what's going on? And we all get out there, and we're like, hey, we set off the fire alarm. We set off the fire alarm. And so we're opening windows. And if you're opening windows in a hallway full of fog, goes out the windows, and so to everyone on the outside, it looks like there's a genuine fire. The fire alarm's going off, there's fog coming out of the windows. If there's smoke, there's fire. There wasn't fire. And so we quick called campus safety, and we knew the guys on campus safety, and we said, Rob, nothing happened. Something happened, but nothing happened. So make sure the fire department isn't coming.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, no, the fire department won't come. We saw it. We muted it. The fire department won't come. And then the fire department came. And so, again, fire department is seeing a building and smoke coming out of it. So they're in full turnout gear and axes, and they're ready to smash down the 12:30 at night. Upper brew has to leave because the fire alarm's going off, and it's like cold out. Like this was in like December, kind of like it was cold. And so everybody's outside in what they were sleeping in at 12:30 at night, and every alarm is going off in the campus, and fire department is like slamming right up to the front door of Brubaker, and that was how that night went. And so then the director of campus safety said, you guys better all come in here, and so we talked about it. And the director of student life at that time was a guy named Bob McMichael.
Yes, Bob.
And he was none too thrilled.
No.
But what we kept saying the whole time was, Bob, we did research. We looked it up, and we found nothing that suggested this would happen. I have no idea how something like this could have occurred. Yeah, and so that was around the end of the semester, and Bob said, well, when we get back, you guys you're in trouble. Okay, Bob, when we get back from break, we'll do something about this, and I don't think anything ever.
Nice, that's good. So, that's a great story.
That's how that went.
I love
yeah.
that.
So don't set off a smoke machine.
Right.
In your dorm room. Or do, depending what kind of night you want.
Yeah, exactly. It's about as exciting as it gets here at LBC right there. But now, Eric, before I let you go, God has gifted you with a very special talent.
Just nonsense.
Eric, okay, from the very first moment I met you. Now, let me preface by saying I'm a huge Pixar fan, and I personally think that Eric sounds just like. Did we find out his name?
Yeah, it's
John
Ratzenberger.
Yes, and he voices many of the Pixar characters.
He's on Cheers.
And he's on Cheers. So I thought it would be fun if you would read a couple Pixar lines for us tonight.
Yeah.
And just see how this goes.
So just so we need to preface who these characters are.
Yes.
Like,
so first we have the Abominable Snowman from Monsters, Inc.
Yeah, so if you're familiar with this movie, there's a part in the movie where they get cast out into the barren wasteland. It's all wintry and everything, and they run into the abominable snowman. And so this occurred because in the show that you mentioned, Princess and the Pea,
Yes.
I was the narrator in this show.
That's
and
right.
so I was in the tallest point of the set, and I could stick my head out this window, and I would just yell stuff.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was funny. And so one time I said something that I don't know who was, somebody, I think maybe it was your dad, actually, that he thought sounded a lot like this character. And so he said, say this. So he said, say welcome to the Himalayas. And so I said, welcome to the Himalayas. And, and here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, that's the story. All right, so, like I just said, welcome to the Himalayas. Abominable, can you believe that? Do I look abominable to you? Why can't they call me the adorable snowman or the agreeable snowman? For crying out loud, I'm a nice guy. Snow cone?
So good.
Skip to the last one. Let's see that. Yeah, let's do those. Lovely.
So this is from the movie Cars.
Yes.
I've not seen this film, so I'm going to do my
quality film.
I hear they have several from what I hear. So, all right, so here it goes. Oh man, whoever does the voice of that pig, I tell you, he's one great actor. Oh wow, that abominable snowman is quite the comic thespian.
Sounds just like it.
Wait a minute, they're just using the same actor over and over? What kind of cut rate production is this?
Eric Lizotte, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my word. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very
for
welcome.
joining us on the show.
Anytime.
Coming up, I'll be talking with members of the band Northwind, and then they will close out tonight's performance with a live performance of one of their songs.
All right.
So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So smooth. I love it. Welcome back to LBC Tonight. Our final guests this evening are from a band who originated from the town of Carlisle a year ago and have been growing ever since then. They have finally started the process of releasing a new EP, and I could not personally be more excited to listen to it. Joining us tonight are band members Alex Swan and Seth Kloschheim. Folks, put your hands together for Northwind. Hey guys.
Hey, Derek.
That was quite an entrance.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed that thoroughly.
Came up with it.
Yeah. So how's life? How's the LBC life? Are you?
Wow.
You Stephen?
She's
No, I
graduated.
Yeah, you
I'm
graduated.
just
That's what I was
working
gonna say.
on campus.
So,
Seth currently lives in a house.
hey Mark, how's it going?
Excuse me.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So this is our drummer, Mark Sherry.
Yeah, this is Mark, guys.
He's a little late because of his second job.
Oh,
He's
okay.
with this band.
Right. Well, I hear it's a
CTV.
pretty good gig, so that's.
Does it pay well?
Yes. Well, anyways, so you guys have a band.
Yeah,
You're-
we have a
you're
band.
Northwind.
3 of us are current students,
Okay.
and 3 of us have graduated. So
Nice.
Seth currently lives in a house with 7 other guys.
6 other guys.
6 other
Wow.
guys.
Yep.
Yep.
Is it Brubaker kind of like
It's
2.0?
It's kind of one of the first official branded LBC frats,
Gotcha.
without being a frat. You didn't hear that from me.
Perfect.
So we have the first percussion performance major,
Okay. Yes.
the first communications
Yes,
department,
true.
and
the
the first
frat. There we go. Perfect. And this is why we can edit shows. Great.
Absolutely.
So Seth, I had Seth on my radio show last
Yeah.
year, the Big
right.
Show. And,
Big Show.
yeah, that's
You bet,
right.
I had to.
Yes, no, thank you. And so Seth was a composition major at LBC, and so we got to listen to a bunch of your original stuff. And you had movie soundtrack sounding stuff, and then just really silly song stuff about being a left-handed guitarist, and great times were had by all. And so that's fun. And Alex, you and I were actually roommates.
Okay, there's actually something funny about that, right?
There are lots of funny things about
Well,
that.
yeah. Second semester of my freshman year,
Yes, which
Derek
was my
Bigley
sophomore year.
moved into my room,
Yes.
and we did not meet for a week.
No.
It was the entire first week of school where occasionally I'd see the back of his head while he was sleeping. But he was sleeping,
Yes.
or I was sleeping.
Yes.
So I think the first Saturday
Yeah.
that we were actually living in the same room together, you walked into the room and I said, "Hey, nice to meet you."
Yes. Yes. It was a busy time for both of us.
Yes.
But that was quite a fun semester. You, me, and Stefan, a 6'6" man, all in a tiny Peterson
Very
room.
small room.
Very small room. But that was memories were made by all,
Of course.
friendships, and
course.
and now we're here. So. Hey Mark, how's it going?
Hey, Mark.
So tell me about the band. How did North Wind form?
Okay,
Just
so
tell you that.
go for it, Mark.
Okay, so I was the original guy that, okay? I'm the one from Carlisle, all right, just so you know.
We don't give him the debit card, it's in our contract.
So I was approached by a couple members from my church asking if I could bring some guys back from my school.
Nice.
And through a long process, I scraped up some of the most amazing musicians and people that I've ever met. And we gelled that night, and we were like, well, we can't stop playing together, so we just decided to make it a thing. And then I passed it off to Alex.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't want anything to do with the leadership after that.
Yeah, once we started talking about taxes, he was out. He was done.
Sorry, man. I just play drums, bro.
There we go. There we go. Mark's home church is very charismatic, which nobody aside from Mark comes from that, and Mark neglected to tell us this until we walked into the room and started playing, and multiple flag wavers came
nice.
to the front
That's my favorite.
with an armory of flags. It was great. We loved it, but after the first song, they went and switched out different flags
Wow.
for different songs.
Wow.
It was a great experience.
That sounds. That would be a little bit surprising. I mean, if you're playing and all of a sudden flags.
It was new. It was new.
I like. Mark, are you a flag waver?
Do you have any with your drumsticks?
Because
Mini?
you know I would be asking you to do that if you.
I honestly do not wave flags.
Okay.
in my church.
That's
I try to keep that.
that's
in
fair,
mind.
although disappointing.
Yeah.
So you started the band, and what did I remember hearing the beginnings of the band last year, and what has the progression been like from that point?
So we sat down once we decided, all right, we're going to do this. We kind of had those bro moments in the car
Right.
on the way back at like eating Wendy's and stuffing our face at
Right.
12 o'clock at night, and we were like, we could do this. Like, let's do this. That was just over and over again what we said. So we came back and got it to count as an instrumental chamber ensemble
Well done.
for credit
Well done.
for our program. So all the other chamber ensembles were like cello players with classical piano playing like Vivaldi Spring, and we just played a couple gigs. I think we got a credit for it.
Did you ever check? No? probably
I'll
check.
take care of it by
Okay.
May.
Yeah, sounds
My
good.
graduation.
So now you're working on an EP,
Yeah.
and when is that set to come out?
So we're hoping to be able to finish up the tracking process by December.
Okay.
That's what we're going for. And then we'll talk about mixing and mastering and releasing, hopefully for sometime in the spring.
Nice.
So we'll keep it pretty small. We introduced 3 songs in September into our live rotation that we started doing, and we're working with some other stuff, but that's kind of what we're focusing on right now.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, I can't wait to. And are we going to hear one of those songs?
We
tonight?
are. We are going to hear one of them tonight.
Awesome. Well, I'm super excited for that, and you guys should probably go get ready to,
We should
to
do that.
perform. So coming right up after this break, we will be hearing from North Wind, one of their original songs. Don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss this.
justice is served in his name. No fear and no judgment, no shame. His love has won the day, triumphing all his names. Our champion ever reigns. Our champion ever reigns. The cross defeated all, the Savior standing tall. Our champion ever reigns. Our champion ever reigns. The light of Christ now shines. Dead sinners raised to life. Death now has no sting. Our champion conquered everything. His love has won the day, triumphing all his names. Our champion ever reigns. Our champion ever reigns. The cross defeated all, the Savior standing tall. Our champion ever reigns. Our champion ever reigns. We call upon you, Jesus. We call upon the name of Jesus. You reign forever in victory. We call upon the name of Jesus. You reign forever, ever and ever. We call upon the name of Jesus. You reign forever in victory. We call upon the name of Jesus. You reign forever, ever and ever. His love has won the day, triumphing all his names. Our champion ever reigns. Our champion ever reigns. The cross defeated all, the Savior standing tall. Our champion ever reigns. Our champion ever reigns. We call upon the name of Jesus. You reign forever in victory. We call upon the name of Jesus. You reign forever and ever and ever. We call upon the name of Jesus. You reign forever in victory. We call upon the name of Jesus. You reign forever and ever and ever.
Good work, fellas. That's fun stuff. My thanks to Alex, Seth, and Mark from Northwind. Check them out on Facebook to find out more about them and eventually listen to their new EP. Yes. Thank you also to Jake Ritchey and Eric Lizotte for joining us tonight. We sure had fun, and we hope you did too. I'm Derek Bigley, and you've been watching LBC Tonight. Have a great weekend, everyone.